I am Arkadiusz Adamski. I'm happy that so many of you could make it today. Let me introduce myself. I work as a software engineer at Allegro. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is automatic banner generation using Python and the popular graphic editor. And I would like to present what problem have as the biggest e-commerce platform in Poland and how are we trying to solve that. First of all, I have to explain the popular graphic editor. I mean Adobe Photoshop. Let me start by giving some background information. These numbers shows you our scale. We generate banners for our website, mail campaigns, for our external advertisement channels, and it is a problem for us with our scale. Now let's focus on the numbers which are directly affecting to the problem. There are two factors. First, the numbers of professional sellers. This factor includes sellers who request a new banner for showcase, for example. And the next component is new offers per month. The problem usually shows for the hottest season like Black Friday or Christmas. The rate of generating new banners can rise even by 10 times. It's a huge amount of work. Factor contains manual work and context switching. Let me introduce Bob. Bob is graphic designer at Allegro. Bob likes doing something creative. As we can see, a typical workflow is strongly connected with work in issue tracker, like Jira. Whole flow is concentrated around this system. So, standard way is getting new ticket from the dedicated queue. Next, Bob, after about a minute, knows what he must do to accomplish his ticket, and he starts work in Photoshop. After he finishes work, he must archive his results, and finally, he can attach the package to the ticket. Bob is happy because he done the ticket, but we need to look closely to his work. Bob opens template, which he download from ticket. He add to template products image, which was downloaded from the ticket. He add a regular price, price after discount, product description, and he adds a button if it is necessary based on some conditionals. Finally, he calculates discount and he types the value to layer. Additionally, sometimes he must add some extra assets. Whole layout of template is described by internal guidelines and is strict. Therefore, we decide to automate this process for Bob's convenience, especially when price can change few times per day. Real time will explain the problem. Now we see requests from John Doe about generate new banners in 26 formats for 3 products. John has put the formats in random order without any convention. Simple math, and we have 74 banners to generate. And Bob is already sick, but he did his job. Did I mention that price could change? Yeah. You can imagine how Bob feels after that. Now we see example of Bob's work. With easily, we can notice that all banners have pattern, which we convert to something more generic. As we can see, Bob is doing something boring and repeatable. For that reason, we have to do something for Bob and graphic designers' work. And on the next slides, I will show you requirements for our solution. At the beginning, we define main requirements for solution. First was natural environment for graphic designers, so don't need to learn new graphic tools. The next requirement is cost of the solution. Basically, this is the most important thing for us because we like cheap solution in our scale. Last but not least is flexible. We will feel at ease when we can add some extra functions and integrate with existing system like Jira, content delivery network, or database with products. As one of many solutions, we consider banner flow, which is good product for modern banners, but for us it's too complex and doesn't cover our requirements. For example, banner flow generate only HTML5 banners, but we need to generate static images for example, external advertisement, mailing, or even offline banners. We interested in massive generatic banner by Photoshop. This is perfect tool in Bob's hands. So we did system which combine power of most popular graphic editor and Python. I'm glad to introduce you Showbox. But wait, can I use Python to scripting Photoshop? Yes and no. If you like to build something on the top of the Photoshop, you can use official way, and official supporting languages, like C++, JS, AppleScript, Visual Basic. We decided created POC in JavaScript. However, we like Python and love its ecosystem, and we decided to use them as a primary tool to solve our problem. After this, we can looking for a way to execute Python's Photoshop commands directly from Python. Therefore, we choose component object model, which is mature technology. I have a question for you. Raise your hand who is born after 1993. Okay. Then you don't be afraid use mature technology older than you, because COM is invented in 1993. And COM, component object model, allows to send the different actions directly to Photoshop. Those actions could be change the style of layer, click the button on Photoshop, execute some command, and whatever you can do in Photoshop. Now we need to know what actions we should send to achieve expected behavior in Photoshop to generate specific banner. So we used Xtools, from convert recorded action in JavaScript, and we can easily convert to Python. The main thing in communicating between Python and Photoshop's process is library called Pywin32, which brings COM's interface to Python. And this is example of results of some command from Pywin32. Okay. Let's look at file generated by function provided by Pywin32 makepy. If we analyze official documentation provided with SDK, we will see correlation between documentation and generated code. And from there is one step to make friend interface for Python programmers. And this way we have made it non-official library for Photoshop compatible with official documentation. And looks like this. It is only some code snippet. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we convert action from Xtools to Python, and this example shows you simple action to scale an object in Photoshop. As you see, it's very simple conversion from JS to Python code, thanks to our library. But graphic designers are not programmers. And we had to build web-based application that combines our library, recorded actions, products DB, and we will provide extra features that to be useful like preview, output configuration, and other automation options. Architecture of Showbox is very simple. It contains only few pieces. Web application was written in Django framework, and communicating with RQ process that use library and recorded action to communicate to Photoshop. Templates and other assets are stored in object storage compatible with S3. Okay, you saw some code snippet and diagrams, but let's how it actually works. I will show you two perspectives. First is console with RQ process and Adobe Photoshop. Next is web interface for end user. Okay, this is worker perspective. On the left, we have some console with RQ process, and on the right, we have Photoshop. And notice how it's look like when it started, and now is someone request to Showbox to render banners, and you can see how RQ process interacting with Photoshop. It's iterated by layer and change layer contents or replace some text. Like text is also price. And for your convenience, I do something slower because Showbox is fast than human. And you can see it's the same, but it's slower 3 times. Okay, and Showbox iterate by products and by layer. For each products, iterate each layer. And there is only some fast rewinding because it's too long. And the next will be end user perspective. As I mentioned earlier, Showbox is web-based application, and we see something very, very simple. We have some place to upload our template, and we see how it works. We upload PSD file compatible with Photoshop, and we upload. We generate some preview for graphic designers, thanks to PSD tools, and we select some products from products database. Next, we can customize our render by enable some trademarks. For example, Nokia is here, and we can change button and see on live preview how it looks like, and something like that. Some additional assets to PSD file. And finally, the last step is output configuration. Oh, and there it is. Output configuration. We can use adjust quality, you can change. It's possible to change file format from JPEG or PNG. And now we must waiting for results. And now magic happens in the worker and RQ process, communicating with Photoshop and do something about replace layer, and we have some preview what is doing now. And on the bottom right, we can see some notification, near real-time status, thankful Django channels and WebSockets. We have what worker doing now, and we have notice about finish his job. Okay, and this is all about generating banners, and we have some preview. You can you can right click and save to disk, or you can also download whole package with these banners to the disk and unpack it and do it something. Okay, and now we see is only replace some placeholders and put the right image or price. Okay. On the next slides, I will show you main features of Showbox. You can replace any smart object. Smart object is some type of layer, and you can replace by asset defined in Showbox. We have convention in Showbox. Every layer with prefix asset underscore can be replaced by asset from library of Showbox. Next feature is for text layers. We use full power of Jinja tool to replace text layer in Photoshop. Showbox builds context for Jinja based on selected product and other variables. It is possible to use Jinja conditional instructions or filter as well. It's very useful when you have some conditionals like how to change appearance of price, for example. Okay, I have only two slides more, and Showbox, as each software has pros and cons. Showbox has two cons. Showbox works only on Windows platform because of component object model. The next is short-term cost of development is high. For pros, we can includes makes mistakes proof. Designers has less space to make mistakes because we fetch information about product from database. Next, we can easily integrate with existing system for instance post-processing, for banners, and response to graphic designer needs by developing some features. Overall, our solution is reasonable because solution on the market that have some features have high cost in long term. And we use full power of Photoshop, and the sky is the limit for our solution. And finally, I have some short conclusion. First, don't be afraid. Use mature technology. You don't have to use only something made yesterday, like they do in JS community. Have time to experiment. Showbox wouldn't even exist without some experiments like POC in JavaScript. And share your experience because you can simplify someone's life, yeah, like we did for graphic designers at Allegro. Thank you. Okay, now I'm happy to answer your questions you may have.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for your speech. I have two questions. The first one is, it's a proprietary technology for Allegro. Are you gonna yeah, sorry. Are you going to become this available to anyone?
You mean open source?
Yeah, no open source. But for
service as service.
Exactly for other enterprises or companies.
Okay, I don't know. For now, I don't know. Maybe yes, but it's not. Showbox is very special software for us, and it's not beta, not alpha, but it's not stable.
Yeah. But actually, it solves you a huge problem. It's a huge problem across the entire industry. And okay, but the second question is any of that process in terms of learning available in a blog or even a post, or is not available in the internet?
You mean?
Yeah, to try to learn, for example,
yes.
to connect Photoshop using the...
yes, Python is very extensible because it's written in C, and for this reason, you can use libraries like COM, and if you have COM and you know something about COM, you can integrate with any software which provides interface to COM, like Excel. You can automate Excel, Photoshop, other stuff like, I don't know, Outlook, because COM. And it's in the web, I think, is very in other way. I written Showbox and read some tutorials, and this is only knowledge in internet, and you find it. I guarantee it to you.
Okay, and the last one is how long did it take?
Take what?
To develop the product,
from develop to production, yeah?
Yeah.
About 3 months in one person. It's not complicated. Whole Django application is only application in easy CRUD with products and some assets. The crucial part is worker. It's only RQ worker, RQ process on different machine, and it's the crucial point, and it's not stable. I suppose we have some outage sometimes because it's hard to write in Python in Windows. Yeah, and the most part we bug fix the worker. The web application is very simple.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question?
Blog.
Okay, thank you, Arkadiusz.
Okay, thank you. If you want something about more our technology, you can visit our technology blog on allegro.tech. And I do this. Maybe someday we open source, and then we write blog posts on our post. Yeah, it's here, Allegro Tech. Okay, thank you.